This may sound boring, but I have to admit that reading philosophy is kind of fun. There is a good and bad with reading philosophy. Actually, the original text as much as it can be original. I cannot really read German or Greeks, right? So I have to read the translated version of it, but for the most of the part, the translated version are in English, right? Which is great. It's fun. The problem with philosophy, let me first tell you about the problem. It's very hard to understand when you read it for the first time. It's not like reading a novel, right? I think most book that considered classic, you have to at least read 2 times, to enjoy it really, right? And philosophy, when you read it for the first time, you don't really enjoy. You do enjoy it, but you just you don't really get the whole picture. You just focus on you know there is a great chapter in Vagabond. It's a Japanese manga. In this chapter, it's been a long time I read that one. In that the guy Miyamoto Musashi, I think, he was talking that when you focus on the forest, that you cannot really focus on the tree. When you focus on the tree, you cannot focus on the leaf. When you focus on the leaves, you just lose the whole picture of the forest. Philosophy is kind of like that. I think first time you focus on the forest, and second time you focus on the trees and leaves, right? So the best example I can give you is Plato's Republic and Das Book Zarathustra. Those are the 2 books I have read more than 2 times, right? Plato's Republic 2 times. Das Book Zarathustra, or I think 3 times, yeah, 3 times. And I started reading it for a 4th time, but I got a new philosophy book, and which I enjoy very much. Trouble of Being Born. And that's the bad thing with philosophy. You cannot really just get out like watching a YouTube video or reading a novel. So that's something to consider if you want to get into philosophy. It's really enjoyable. It's fun. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. And the good thing about philosophy is that if you have 5 philosophy books, it's like you have 15 philosophy books, because you have to read each 2 or 3 times. So you don't have to buy lots of books, and it's really nice. It's weird, when you read a philosophy book for a second time, you enjoy it more. I'm not saying you would not probably enjoy it if you read it like back to back, right? You read, for example, Gay Science, right? You read it and you finish it today, and tomorrow you started to read it for a second time. You wouldn't probably enjoy it. You just need to give it a little bit time to digest in your mind. Like I would say, you should try philosophy. It's fun. It's fun. Come on. Okay, maybe if you're not into philosophy, why don't you try reading classic? Like it doesn't have to be classic. Okay, pick up fucking Twilight, Lord of the Rings. That's a good book. Reading is fun. Actually, it's soothing. It's nice. Yeah, maybe I'm just old and I enjoy reading. Maybe that's that. And there are certain philosophers. It's obviously it's a personal opinion, right? There is some philosophers which, well, I had my fair share of crisis, existential crisis, or whatever it's called. there are some philosophers actually help you, in a weird way, right? I don't really want to say it, but the Friedrich Nietzsche, right? In a way, reading his books kind of feel like a meditation. Kind of feel like a meditation because it's really easy to fall into traps of nihilism. It's not really a trap, at the end of the day, everything is meaningless. But reading Friedrich Nietzsche give you, some kind of hope. So, some kind of like he just like like slapping your face like in The Godfather. Oh, what's the matter with you? Be like a man. What's the matter with you, huh? Are you sad? What's the matter with you? It's kind of like that. I wouldn't call Friedrich Nietzsche is my favorite philosopher. Honestly, there are lots of philosophers I like, and Friedrich Nietzsche is one of them. I like David Benatar as much as I don't want to admit. Obviously, I like Socrates and Plato. I'm a basic page. If I had to say, probably Socrates is my favorite philosopher because that's where most of the things came from, right? Kind of the foundation. So with that, I am more biased towards Socrates. If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be any philosophy. Probably there would be, probably. There is Eastern philosophy as well, Buddhist stuff and Hindu scriptures and all that. And what is Confucian? I haven't read the guy. I want to read, I want to read lots of philosophy before I die. And maybe even write one philosophy. Yeah, it's going to be the greatest philosophy book of all time. And first I need to finish the novel I started. And yeah, so that's the video. If you watch, well, thank you for watching. I don't know why you're watching. Anyway, thank you for watching and subscribe to hear me more rambling and tumbling and yapping and shit. Okay, so cheers.